Hello. My name is Eliza Sylvia, and I'm currently a graduate student here at the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the Ontario Agricultural College Convocation ceremony this evening. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest, which you can see on the curtains behind me and on your convocation programs, also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links to the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere cosas, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall is also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace, leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is a ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the chancellor and president, members of the administration and honorees, fellows of the university, members of board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. The name reader will present the scholars to the president and chancellor by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. The president will greet each student at center stage, and a photograph will be taken. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all of the platform party has processed out of the hall. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for convocation. Please share your photos, memories, and advice with graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag GuelphGrad. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduates on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy Son's command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Let us pause for a moment and reflect with our whole selves on our unique journeys, our distinct callings, and our place in this complex and mysterious world. In this moment, we acknowledge the Attawandaron people, on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph now stands. We offer our respect to their Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors. We remember that the world as we experience it is not the world as it has always been. Furthermore, it is not the world as it must always be. In this moment, we give thanks for those friendships that have blessed us over the course of our studies. We are grateful to those who have supported us and held us up, for the journey has been long and the traveling hard. I invite you now to embrace a short silence, and in your own way, be it through prayer or remembrance or thoughtful affirming, recognize that for which you are grateful. And now, as we open ourselves to a new season of life, may the knowledge that we have attained here be coupled with wisdom, colored with compassion, and marked with humility. May we embrace each new opportunity in ways that honor creation, that foster community, and that defends the dignity of all people. And may the mystery of life and each new moment bring us laughter and delight as we seek to be agents of grace and peace and hope for this world. Amen. You may be seated.
Good evening. I am delighted to officially open this 2017 University of Guelph Convocation ceremony and welcome everyone here. President Vaccarino, former President Rosansky, members of the board, honorary fellows, faculty, staff, family, and friends of the graduates. Today, as we celebrate the achievements of our graduating students, I'd like to offer a particular welcome to our convocation speaker, Michael Rogers, who will be introduced shortly. My name is Martha Billis, and I have the honor of serving as Chancellor here at the University of Guelph. And what an honor it is to be here today, back at my University of Guelph, my alma mater. I think back to when I was in your shoes, proud to be a Mac Institute graduate and anxious to take on the next challenge around the corner. Problem is, we do not always know what is coming or how we're going to get there. Today, I want to instill in you a belief my dean, Margaret McCready, instilled in me years ago. She was full of advice, but most often said, "Remember, ladies, you are Mac girls, and Mac girls can do anything." And she was right. I stand before you today to proudly and confidently tell you that the education I received here gave me the wherewithal to go out and strive beyond what I thought I was capable of. Since the days of its founding colleges, the University of Guelph has been a leader in practical education focused on the whole person. The university has fostered an environment that encourages its community of students to aim higher, to make things better, to be more productive, to turn preconceived notions on their head, to make a difference, to improve life. My education opened doors and offered windows on the world I could not have imagined. Half a century later, those things are still happening here at this fantastic institution. Graduates, your windows are waiting. It's your turn to make a difference and to improve life for ourselves and for others. I know you can do it because you are, after all, a University of Guelph graduate, and you can do anything. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Franco Vaccarino, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the president and vice chancellor of this great university. Well, graduates, this is your big day. You've worked hard, you've persevered, and you've made it. Well done and well deserved. Think fast. Think fast. We've all heard that expression. You don't often hear anyone telling you to think slow. Think slow. But my main message today is twofold: think fast and think slow. You know, as a psychologist, I'm naturally inclined and interested in cognitive science and neuroscience, and speaking as well as a parent of university-age children, and I see a lot of young minds here. I believe that your minds, young minds, are different from those of your parents' generation. We see how you absorb information and how you interact with and through information technology. Young people are very, very, very good at coping with lots of information and shifting their attention accordingly. Your brains basically have adapted to a very fast-paced world. Today we are navigating a river of knowledge, one that is growing larger and flowing faster all the time. New ideas are coming at us at an absolutely unprecedented pace. New innovations, new ways to connect the dots, new ways to understand our world. We need to process more and more and more information in the same amount of time. We need to think faster. You might call that fast thinking reactive thinking. We need to react. Reactive thinking is a kind of tactical thinking. It's what helps a driver navigate and negotiate the twists and turns of the road on a moment-to-moment basis. But of course, there's another kind of thinking. Reflective thinking or slow thinking takes a more strategic view a broad view. Not that I'm suggesting that you think more slowly in the literal sense. I'm talking about a different kind of thought, a different channel, different way of approaching a problem than tactical or reactive. In our fast-paced world, universities are increasingly important places for both kinds of thinking. Reactive, fast thinking that addresses the now, and we all know that there's plenty going on in the now. But also reflective thinking that rises above and beyond the here and now, to take the long view and consider the broader context, to consider tomorrow, to consider the day after. You know, as students at the University of Guelph, you have benefited during the past few years from an environment that has challenged your thinking, an environment that nurtures freedom of thought and expression and inquiry, an environment that promotes and supports openness to new ideas, one that invites varied perspectives, different perspectives on a problem or on an opportunity. We've tried to encourage you to exercise both reactive as well as reflective thinking. We've stressed the kind of thinking that enables you not just to come up with the right answers, but importantly, to come up with the right questions. We've looked to nurture thinking that is disciplined and thinking that is interdisciplinary, that draws upon diverse experiences, diverse points of view. That's the whole point of interdisciplinarity, to bring multiple lenses to bear on a common problem. That kind of thinking is ever more important today in a world where the challenges and the opportunities we face are certainly larger and certainly more complex than ever. Now, big problems and big opportunities need lots of minds thinking together on solutions. And not just like minds, but unlike minds. Unlike minds from varied backgrounds, from different perspectives. You know, there's a great proverb, one of my favorite proverbs, it's an African proverb, and it goes something like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, you're about to explore and discover the next phase of your lives, including, I hope, finding ways to improve life for others around you and in the wider world. So go together, think fast, and think slow. Thank you very much.
I am pleased to invite Michael Rogers, Associate Professor in the Department of Food Science, to now give your convocation address.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the board, faculty, family, friends, graduates. Thank you for affording me the privilege to speak at your commencement. To the 2017 graduates, I am honored to be one of the first to congratulate you on your truly remarkable success. This week of commencement signifies different achievements that go well beyond academics. Along with your Guelph experience, many of you will have felt the consequences of independence for the first time. Some will have found true love, others will have lost it. People will have waged battles with anxiety, depression, and many people will have overcome learning disabilities to be here today. Irrespective of your path, your time at Guelph has shaped the person that sits here today. Today represents various achievements that for some signify an arduous 2-decade journey through our education system. For others, it's a stepping stone to your next degree. And also, it signifies a return for some to our education system. For the people in the back of the room, we celebrate this achievement with you as well. The parents, the children, friends and partners, they have played a major role in your success. They have been your closest confidants, your tutors, your escape from reality, and in many cases, your personal financier. So today we celebrate with those as well, because for some, today truly represents financial freedom, as the bank of mom and dad will have made its last loan. In completing your degree today, you join the 6.7% of the global population with a university degree. Your education affords you opportunities that 90% of the world can only dream of attaining. With this in mind, what social responsibility do you have to improve the world around you? Now, more than ever, We need you to dream. We need you to dream ridiculously big because the challenges society faces today seem increasingly insurmountable. We have environments that are being decimated. We have populations that seem unable to reside together. And we have governments which are making decisions not based in sound science, but instead in rhetoric. The world needs dreamers and doers that are going to provide solutions to our taxed food supply, that will invent green solutions for us to exist in our world without negatively impacting our environment. And in about a moment's time, you, along with your fellow Guelph graduates, will be pushing at the forefront of these collective issues. So as we sit here today and reflect, what is it you got from your university degree other than stress and debt? A decade from now, the facts you have learned will be rewritten. The articles you have studied from will be obsolete. The materials you were taught from will become archaic, much like the acetates that I learned from when I was an undergraduate. So what's the value of a university degree today? I assure you it is not in the facts you have learned. Instead, it is the skills that you have developed in your time that will prove invaluable. Hopefully your time here has fueled your creative process, has sparked an innate curiosity for the things around you, and refined your compassion for humanity. Today does not signify the end of your educational pursuit, but instead it is left in your capable hands. Today I was asked to say something inspirational, and it would help if it was a personal story. But my story isn't unlike most of yours. My start in the education system was not good. I was never an overachieving student. In the 4th grade, I could barely read, barely write, and much to my teacher's dismay, I wouldn't participate in class. And it was the end of the 4th grade that my teachers called my parents in to discuss my future. It was their expert opinion that I shouldn't progress to the 5th grade. Instead, I was told I should redo the 4th grade, but this time I should be in a class with students with alternative needs. To a 4th grader, this is equivalent to the end of the world. My parents, convinced the teachers were wrong, moved to a small school board that tested students that were not meeting developmental milestones. My second attempt at the 4th grade, I was enrolled 4 days a week as a regular student, and on the 5th day I would undergo testing. And very quickly in this testing, they found that I couldn't hear. I could only hear about 50% what was normal, and in a group setting, this dropped down to about 10%. Problem was quickly identified. A few surgeries later, it was corrected. But for the next decade, I was forced to sit in the front row of every single class. This led me to being awarded a never achieved award in my high school, which was a first student ever with perfect attendance. However, my issues got quickly resolved, but I was many years behind. I had missed developmental stages that would prove extremely difficult to make up. So for the next decade, my after schools and weekends were filled with tutors, and my summers were just a time I went to a different school. In the 11th grade, I found a box of old report cards, and I didn't know this at the time, but my parents moved from Mississauga to Cambridge because on that report card it said, "As parents of Michael, you should begin financial planning for his future because he will be dependent on you for the rest of his life." If I or my parents had accepted their version of my potential, I would not be here today. It's what I learned in that moment. That's why I'm standing here today, and it's simple. You and you alone get to determine what your dreams are, and no one should ever deter you from pursuing them. Dream big. Dream unreasonably big, and when obstacles get in your way, move them. If you fail at something, figure out why, learn from it, and try again. If you have never failed at anything, you are not dreaming to your full potential. And if you are deterred from pursuing your dreams, in fear of failing, you have failed before you have even begun. One of the greatest literary minds of my time, Jim Carrey, in his commencement address, talked about how his father would not allow himself to be a great comedian. He ended up failing anyway, at a job he never had any desire to do. He said, "So many people choose their path out of fear disguised as practicality." He described his father as being devastated when he got fired from his accounting job, of which he had no desire to do. He concluded by saying, "You can fail at what you don't want to do, so you may as well taking a chance on what you love." Failure has been a very large part of my life. I have learned to embrace it, and I learn from it. The world cannot wait for your innovations. Give yourself permission to be imperfect, because there is nothing that is more important than you realizing your potential. Whatever they are, do everything you can to achieve your dreams, because you deserve success. You deserve happiness as much as the person next to you. So for many of you, tomorrow is quite literally a blank slate, ready for you to decide what your future holds. You have everyone's confidence on this stage that you are prepared, you are qualified, but most importantly, you're deserving. If Donald Trump is qualified to be President of the United States, then imagine what you're qualified to do. Tomorrow is what you make of it. So make it the best version, because I promise you, in a blink of an eye, you're going to be reflecting on where the time has gone by. So I encourage you, after you leave here today, figure out what your dream is and remain steadfast until it's achieved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Fantastic and inspirational speech. And just a reminder that Professor Rogers holds a prestigious Canada Research Chair position. So that is really a remarkable story, very inspirational. Thank you. My name is René Van Acker. I'm Dean of the Ontario Agricultural College. It's a pleasure for me to be part of your convocation. Will the graduating class please rise? Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated? So good evening, graduates and proud family members and friends of the graduates. I'm sure everybody here is very excited, glad to be here, perhaps a little bit relieved in some cases. Certainly happy to see your graduate walk across this stage and be greeted by the President. And you may want to express your emotions in some sort of audible way, a hoot, a holler, a hooray, a clap. That's all great. Please, please do what you want, within reason. But may we ask that the general audience please hold your collective applause until after the presentation of each of the degree programs. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the Ontario Agricultural College, that they may be admitted to the degree of Master of Landscape Architecture. Leah Elizabeth Boyd. Erica Helga Bullock. Andrew Ferguson. Patrick Govro. Alice Lee. Jenya Lee. Aislinn Livingstone. Amanda Lynn Lockwood. Adele Pierre. Karen Evelyn Schlemkevich. Julia Simone Taucher. Chelsea Trendle. Cyril Viola. Jie Jung. Please join me in congratulating these master's graduates of the Ontario Agricultural College. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the Ontario Agricultural College that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Bioresource Management. Darcy Marie Anderson with distinction. Sasha and Andrea Arsenault with distinction. Jacob Patrick Brooker. Jennifer Claire Buchanan. Joshua Thomas Callahan. Vincent Zachary Cheney. Emily Margaret Clancy. Caitlin Stephanie Close. Meredith Page Ferlat with distinction. Emily Fisher. Samantha Frisk with distinction. Serena Darlene Goodfellow. Sarah Michelle Gray with distinction. Nicholas William George Halverson. Gabrielle Harris. Laura Elizabeth Hopkins with distinction. Emily Victoria Johnson. Laura Jones with distinction. Caitlin Margaret Crowder. Tierra Taylor LaRoche. Lynn Elizabeth McClure. Alana Glenda Knopfs. Heather Ainsley Rutherford. Evangeline Cynthia Apile. Jessica Schreier. Dalshir Sidhu. Emma Marjorie Thompson with distinction. Molly Justine Titanic. Please join me in congratulating these graduates from the Ontario Agricultural College. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the Ontario Agricultural College that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Landscape Architecture. Ryan Gregory Berry with distinction. Gregory William John Baskin. Sean Patrick Bodwin with distinction. Patrick Burlett. Emily Elizabeth Bowerman with distinction. Jason Daniel Conacher. Julia Crane with distinction. Katie Crawford with distinction. Riley Scott Crean. Madison Maureen Daly with distinction. Daly. Cassandra Delaquila with distinction. Danielle Carey Dibbets with distinction. Jeremy Christopher Dilks. Mark Ryan Dorham. Hillary Sarah Apple with distinction. Kyle Gary Foch with distinction. Kevin Riley Fulmer with distinction. Andrea Nicole Graham with distinction. Nathaniel Grant. Jacob Thomas Gray. Vanessa Haddad. Benjamin Hayes. Samantha Pearl Hunt Weeks with distinction. Timi Tui Win with distinction. William Adam King. Stephanie Laura Lapointe. Simon Philip Latham. Huang Tui Ti Lee. Siti Liu. Mitchell Lloyd. Tyler James Main. Lexi Maxwell with distinction. Claire McLaughlin. Josh McVeigh. Diego Medeiros. Elizabeth Dawn Mihak. Jamie Pauline Meston. Aaron Jeffrey Mills. Nicholas Minigan. Michelle Chin Wing, with distinction. Carla Marie Obergewich, with distinction. Laura Elizabeth Orlando, with distinction. Agatha Natalia Pater. Rami Penner, with distinction. Allison Elizabeth Quinn. Sarah Evelyn Robinson, with distinction. Kiara Natasha Rogers, with distinction. Daniel Coleman Rosansky. Brooke Lynn Roson, with distinction. Lissa Schot Otterkamp, with distinction. Olivia Shoddick, with distinction. Tess Violet Sprossen. Claire Bronte Saint-Amand. Michelle Verhoef. Lauren Vanessa White. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Ontario Agricultural College. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the Ontario Agricultural College, that they may be admitted to the diploma of Associate Diploma in Turfgrass Management. Mark Giovanni Kina. Brent Graham. Dalton Joseph Robotham. Please join me in congratulating all of our graduates of the Ontario Agricultural College. Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Well, graduates, you did it. Congratulations. Well done. I don't know if people noticed, but as soon as this convocation started, the sun came out. Actually quite something. Congratulations again to the graduates. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the Griffin alumni family, a growing family. This week, more than 3,400 new graduates are joining University of Guelph alumni ranks. The University of Guelph alumni now number more than 140,000 graduates around the world. As you can imagine, we're all incredibly proud of your accomplishments here at the university and do look forward to seeing how the foundations that you've developed here as students will continue to support you in the years ahead and in your futures. We want to celebrate your achievements, your successes, and very much hope that you will keep in touch and remember that you're always, always welcome here. Graduates, I'm sure you've made many memories here at the university, including today's ceremony. And remember this as well. You are a student for a short time, but you're a Griffin forever. Congratulations. So that concludes our formal convocation ceremony, and the college dean, Dean Van Acker, will host a reception for all the graduates and their guests in Creelman Hall right next door here. This really is an opportunity to mingle, congratulate the graduates, and we do hope that you can attend. And now, as tradition has it, the final word is from our Chancellor.
Convocation is dismissed.
Congratulations, everyone. We know you're going to go out and do great things. We hope you'll visit often and share and inspire us with your achievements, maybe at homecoming or alumni weekend or just whenever you feel like it. We're going to ask you to do us a favor and exit through the side doors here with the students first and the families after. Go out, take lots of photos because you'll want to be able to look back on this day and see what you look like. And then we ask that you please return the gowns and hoods to the tent so that students tomorrow can look as good as you. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to turn it up and do it one more time. You ready? Woo! Take care.